How's that for a clap? Welcome to a holiday edition of the Mel Robbins podcast. Woohoo! What are we going to talk about? Why don't we talk about fun? What a novel idea. Okay, wait a minute here. Hold on. Fun matters, especially when it comes to your family. This is going to be the holiday season where you and I open our hearts. We uncross our arms, we drop the expectations, and we pull up in the frickin' fun bus. We bring it, people. We destroy this feast. Hey, it's your friend Mel, and welcome to a holiday edition of the Mel Robbins podcast. Woohoo! All right, everybody. I don't know what you're doing right now, but let me tell you what I'm doing. I am cruising into the holiday season. And in fact, today, the day that this releases, it is Thanksgiving here in the United States. What does that mean? That means cue the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving music, families getting together, turkey on the table, Uncle Bill talking politics, Aunt Irene getting drunk. Okay, wait a minute here. Hold on. What are we going to talk about? Well, I thought a lot about this. What do I want to talk to you about, given that this is going to come out on Thanksgiving? And whether you listen to this on Thanksgiving or not, whether you are located in a place where there is Thanksgiving or not, none of that is relevant, because at some point or another, you're going to be cruising into the holidays with your own family and loved ones. And when I started to scan the possibilities for what you and I could talk about today, and it's kind of sad when you Google the holidays and holidays with family, the first thing that comes up are not articles about how to have more fun with your family. You know what comes up? How to avoid toxic family members, how to have boundaries, how to do this. And look, you may need them with your family. If they're that toxic, don't go. There's the only boundary you need, okay? You have permission from your friend Mel Robbins to decline any invitations this holiday that involve hanging out with narcissists, or people that have been abusive to you, or anybody that triggers your trauma. Okay, that's just rule number one. Because I want you to have fun. You deserve to have fun. What I am suggesting is we get serious about having fun with our families. And here's the reason why we have to talk about this. Can we have a confessional moment here? I know you're excited to see your family, or at least I hope you are. But let's tell the truth about what happens when we all get together. We're all excited. We send the emails. We can't wait to go. We bundle up. We pack the car. We board the planes. We drive to each other's. We give each other a big hug. We're super excited. And then what do? You hang out with your favorite cousin or your favorite aunt, and you ignore everybody else. Within a couple hours of getting there, you've caught up on college and work and your dating life, and you've talked about the weather, and then everybody's on their phone. Within a day, you're itching to go back and see your friends and get back into your routine, and you're ready to kill your sister or your brother. It's not just happening at my house. It happens at everybody's house. I'd like to change that this year. I'd like to pull up in the fun bus. I would like us all to walk into our family holidays and our family dynamics this year with our arms open. You know how you kind of walk into the holidays with your arms crossed going, we'll see how this goes. And you carry in your expectations and maybe the slights from last year. Oh, it's going to be the same thing every year. How about this holiday season? This is the one where you uncross your arms, you open your heart, and you pull up in the fun bus, baby. Honk, honk. And look, I'm sure that my family feels the same way about me. Oh, Aunt Mel, she's a lot. Talk about a control freak. God, I wish she didn't talk so loud. Hope she doesn't drink as much as she did last year. This is going to be a train wreck if she does. I'm sure I'm very triggering. So thank you to my family in advance for still coming. But let's just promise each other that this is going to be the holiday season where you and I open our hearts. We uncross our arms. We drop the expectations. And we pull up in the frickin' fun bus. We bring it, people. We destroy this feast! ! Because when you and I get serious about having fun, you know what's going to be cool? The fun breaks apart the old dynamics. It pulls people out of their shells, and you're going to see a completely different side of everybody that you think you know so well. And this matters. And I realize that you might be introverted, Or maybe it's your mother-in-law who's hosting. And so it's like got to be a certain way. Or your family's just not into that, Mel. Or maybe you don't have a big family, but it's your circle of friends that you're spending the holidays with that really need to mix it up. How do we change this? I'll tell you how we change this. Fun. Fun matters, especially when it comes to your family. Now, this isn't just good old common sense. There's a lot of research here. So Dr. John and Julie Gottman, they are the most prominent researchers on the topic of love and relationships. And their research has found that couples who are happy, you know why they're happy? They know how to have fun together. Well, that extends to all relationships, particularly with your family. I know that the second that you walk into mom or dad's house, you feel like you're 8 years old again. I know the second that you're around your family, even though you love your brothers and sisters, there's the golden child, there's the middle child, there's the favorite. You fall right back into the old roles. Well, here's the thing about fun. Fun lessens the stress. Fun helps you sleep better. Fun makes you happier. It makes you smarter, and it strengthens your relationships when you're having fun with other people. And you know that this is true. And look, you aren't the only one. Here's how sad the topic of fun is. Researchers have a word to describe the fact that you and I are not having as much fun as we should. You want to hear the words? It's pretty sad. Researchers say that you and I are living in a fun drought. I mean, my mouth is not just dry. Apparently, my whole life is dry. 97% of us, according to the research, and that includes you and me, wish we had more fun. 60% of adults believe that their life is just way too grown up. I know I feel that way. Don't you wish you could go into a time machine and sit back at the kids' table again and be elbowing your cousins and laughing at all the adults? Well, that brings me to the next piece of research. 73% of us miss aspects of our childhood, like birthday parties or family celebrations. Let's just talk about your own family for a second. Forget about what your relationship is like right now. I want you to think back through time. What are the best memories that you have with your family? I guarantee you, what popped right into your mind were the fun times. When I think about my family, the Schneebergers, you know what I think about? I think about game night. I think about the fact that we love playing euchre and backgammon, and we always divide up into teams. And my mom and I are a great team because we love to smack talk, and then it's like the ladies against the guys. And we will play cards for hours, cribbage, euchre. I just love those nights. And we laugh and we're competitive. Or I can think of like another memory that comes to mind for me is wiffle ball. When my little nephews were tiny, they're twins and they're 14 now and they're taller than I am. Well, I'd get out there when they were little, and I would always have to drop out of the wiffle ball game because I haven't had my bladder surgery yet. And then everybody would laugh about how Aunt Mel just peed herself, ha, 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 ha. And they'd try to make me laugh, so I would pee myself. Or when we go visit my parents, my dad always rents a pontoon boat, and not just any pontoon boat. There is only one place on Muskegon Lake where you can rent a pontoon boat. This pontoon boat is like 30 years old. We have rented the same thing every year that we go back and visit. And this thing's like chugga, 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 chugga. And the last summer when we were back there that we rented it, it died in the middle of the lake. Honest to God. But it was a blast. You know, we laughed and laughed and laughed, and my dad had to wave down a boat and get a ride. It was a whole thing. But we always have fun. And I guarantee you, when I go back this summer, it'll be that same 31-year-old pontoon boat, and we'll all wonder if it will actually be able to have enough horsepower to do tubing. Now, on Chris's side of the family, when I think about memories there, it's always fun stuff too. Like how excited all 9 cousins were when they get together, and they would spend hours and hours and hours, particularly in the winter, building jumps on this huge hill that we live on, and then they would sled on it. And honestly, the last time they all did that, it's kind of sad. I bet it was about 15 years ago. Or another memory, we had this epic lip sync battle one Thanksgiving where all of not only Chris's family got together, but all of his cousins came too. And it was every family was a band. It was this incredible battle. Absolutely amazing. Do you know when that was? 13 years ago. So it begs the question, if you always remember the fun times, Why aren't we having fun anymore? And so before I talk about how we're going to do that, I want to reveal the 3 big reasons why we aren't having fun, especially around the holidays. And these are reasons supported by the research. So the first reason why we fall into a fun drought is because of guilt. And this may sound weird, so let me explain it to you. I think it's been a hard few years for a lot of people. And maybe you or members of your family are having a hard time. And so what happens when somebody has just gone through a divorce, or maybe you've lost a loved one, or somebody just lost their job, or they're struggling, or whatever, you feel guilty prioritizing fun. I mean, if somebody that you love isn't going to be able to make it to the celebration, or somebody's passed away, don't feel guilty about having fun. Having fun honors that person. And so don't let guilt, or maybe we shouldn't have fun, or this has got to be serious. Do not let that guilt prevent you from bringing the fun this holiday season. Secondly, and I think this one's really important, you may have ideas for having fun with your family. Like maybe you heard me say we used to have these epic big lip sync battles, and you're like, oh, I'd love to do that. And then I guarantee you, you know what you felt? My family would never do that. And that's the second reason why we don't bring more fun. You're afraid you're going to get judged. Well, I can take care of that fear right now. You will get judged. Your family is going to tease you. Your family's going to roll your eyes. Your family will judge you when you show up with a huge armload of foam hats that you expect everybody to wear at the holiday table. Guess what? When you bring the poster board and the markers, when you bring the wiffle ball, when you bring the face paint, when you bring the karaoke machine, I want you to expect to be made fun of. You want to know why? Because that's your family. That's what we do. And you know what else? Who freaking cares? They're going to complain anyway. So you got a choice here. Do you want them to sit around and complain about relatives that aren't there, or about politics, or about the weather, or about how their back hurts? Or do you want them to complain about the foam hat that you brought that we're all now laughing at? You get to choose. And I'm going to ask you, please choose the fun. And here's the third reason why we don't have enough fun. I'm telling you. And this is the single most important reason. And it's dead simple. We don't plan for it. You and I are making a huge mistake. We think fun needs to be spontaneous. I get it. Fun was really spontaneous when you were a little kid, or at least you thought it was. But if you really stop and think about it, when you were a kid, all those fun moments, the adults planned. They planned the birthday parties. They planned the get-togethers. They invited your friends over for play dates. They bought the Legos and the puzzle. They turned on the fun movie. They popped the popcorn. And what I'm here to tell you is, now that you and I are adults, you and I need to plan those fun experiences for ourselves and the other adults around us. Don't just plan something fun for the kids this holiday. Plan something for everybody to do. So I have now opened the kimono, people. I have lifted up the skirt. I have shown up here. I don't even know what other metaphor to tell you. I'm just freestyling here with you right now on this holiday edition. The bottom line is, let's admit it. We're in a fun drought. Second, let's also admit we had been planning on showing up at the holiday gathering, hoping it was fun, and then just being critical when it's not. So here's what we're going to do. You and me, we're bringing the fun. And rule number 1, stop focusing on all the logistics. Focus on the laughter. I'm not kidding about this. I want you to weave laughter into the logistics. If you did the work ahead of time to plan for fun and to make sure it's fun, it will be fun. And, when I say don't just focus on the logistics, also focus on the laughter, I want to tell you a quick story. So we're hosting Thanksgiving this year, and my husband, thank God, is handling the logistics. And so he put together an email, and he, assigned all the things out that everybody was doing. And bring the dogs, and, bring a bathing suit, and ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. And everybody replies back, excited to see you. And we're so excited to get together. And so now as the emails are starting to fly, I'm starting to feel excited. But everybody's just kind of commenting on the logistics. We'll be there Thursday. We'll be there Wednesday night. We're going to bring the dog. Blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, our son Oakley replies. And he replies in all caps, "People, we are going to destroy this feast!" Exclamation point. And I just laughed out loud. That could be you. Why not reply to the family logistics text chain with a hilarious GIF of somebody dancing with a turkey? Why not put in a hilarious photo of somebody in the family? Why not bring the fun? So don't just focus on the logistics. Make sure you focus on the laughter too. Now, let's talk about step 2. How do you stop falling into the, oh, fun will just happen spontaneity category, and you fall into the, I'm going to make this fun thing happen category? Well, let's look at the research. People who are happy do things that make them happy. That's one of those studies where I'm like, yeah, duh. But then you're like, oh, no wonder I'm not happy. I'm not doing anything or prioritizing happiness. They work at things that make them happy. And it makes sense because when you try things that make you happier, you're a happier person. Well, guess what? The exact same research relates to fun. It's seriously so obvious, it's kind of stupid, but let's have some fun with it, right? Let's not be embarrassed. Your life becomes fun when you plan things that are fun to you, or even when normal things. You just bring a fun attitude like our son did to the email chain. All caps, exclamation, let's go, people. And on that note, I want to share a story with you about the power of bringing the fun. Okay? Don't wait for somebody else to do it. Thankfully, we have somebody in our family who's incredible at this. Our oldest daughter, Sawyer, who's 23 years old, this woman always brings the fun. I mean, she is always doing something really fun with her friends. I can give you a few examples. There was one year where she and her friends were out in Breckenridge, Colorado, and I was looking at the photos online, and they were out at bars in these colonial costumes, literally, like think Holly Hobby, bonnets, prairie dress, apron. They had gone on a bar crawl in costume, like looking like women from a colonial era, like Little House on the Prairie. It was such a riot that people all over Breckenridge were stopping them. They were featured on the Breckenridge Facebook page. People were taking photos with them. I mean, talk about bringing the fun. That's hilarious. I mean, I'd never think to order costumes and go on a themed bar crawl. Who does that? Well, apparently people who have fun do that. Another thing that she did recently is we had all of her college friends from Boston College up with their moms for a big mother-daughter weekend. And when we found out that one of the moms, who was a widow, had just gotten engaged to her boyfriend, Sawyer turned to me and said, let's throw a wedding. I'm like, throw a wedding? She's like, yeah, we're going to throw a wedding. And sure enough, impromptu, they made a sash for the mom. We made a veil out of a paper towel, like a long thing of paper towel, and flowers out of like foil. And then we blew bubbles, and we had her daughter, who was wearing this huge foam hat, walk her down the aisle in our living room. And then Sawyer it was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Why? She brought the fun. When she heard something, she leaned into it, and we just improv. It was just amazing. And she also did this repeatedly during quarantine. So quarantine was actually a really awesome time for our family once we got over the grieving and we settled into the routine of being together, because our kids brought the fun. Sawyer went through and made an entire chart for the month of March, and she came up with theme nights every other night. There was a family Olympics night. There was a bake-off where we divided up into teams, and we had to bake desserts, and we also had to dress up as chefs. I mean, it was super fun. But the most fun night was a night that I had never heard of. This is a theme you should steal. I love this. It's an anything but clothes dinner. And what does that mean? I didn't know either. It means you have dinner with your family wearing anything but clothes. You're not supposed to go nude. You are supposed to wear something other than clothes. So Sawyer, for example, took 2 huge king-size pillows and duct taped them all around her. So she put one in the front, one in the back, and then duct taped it. So that was her clothes, or her outfit. I can't remember what Oakley wore, and I can't remember what Kendall wore, oddly enough. But I took a champagne bottle box, and I put it across my chest. And the way that I fastened it to me is I poked holes in the top of it, and then I put a ribbon around it and hung it like a necklace, and then put duct tape on the sides so it stayed in place. And then I made a pair of pants out of brown grocery store garbage bags, like 1 bag per leg, and then taped the front together. Now, Chris's outfit was something. Chris took a rubber pot lid. So, you know how you have like a metal pot lid? Well, somebody gave us once these like kind of rubber lids that you can put on top of dishes like in the summer so that flies can't get them. And it had like a little knob on it. He hung this thing across the front of him in front of his private parts. And that's all he wore except for a pair of clogs and socks. I mean, when he came down the stairs, I almost had a heart attack. He had basically a pot lid across the front of him with a ribbon around his waist and clogs on. I'll tell you, we have laughed about that moment forever. And every time, we get into a fight, Chris threatens to wear that to the rehearsal dinner for one of our kids' weddings. What you're going to learn is that it's not that hard. It only takes one additional person to cause a major shift with you and have the fun be what everybody remembers. That's what we're going to do this holiday season. In fact, this is called the first follower theory. When you're the one person doing something out of the ordinary, people think you're crazy. Like, think about if you were to go in at the holidays and you're wearing some silly outfit. One of my favorite things to do is to buy themed blazers. You can get them really cheap on Amazon that are just ridiculous. Whether they have turkeys all over them or they have holiday decorations or they blink or whatever. Hilarious. If you're the only one wearing one, you might feel like an idiot. When two of you show up, now there's a party. That first follower that joins in with you turns you from you're an idiot to this looks like fun. Same's true about a dance floor, right? The first person that gets up, you're like, ooh, bad dance move. The second one, you're like, maybe I'll go, right? That's how you go from being the lone nut job to being the leader of the fun train, everybody. That's how fun becomes a movement. And so I'm going to take the first follower theory and I'm going to recruit someone to help me. And I want you to do the same. I am going to get our daughter Sawyer on the line because she is the CFO, the Chief Fun Officer of the Robbins family. And so as I get Sawyer on the line, I want you to think of your Chief Fun Officer, the person you're going to drag in to help you. Because if you both are like, come on, guys, everyone will be like, all right. And the fun bus will run the resignation and the cynicism right on over and make sure that fun bus has a damn good music dance party mix too, because that'll also bring the energy up. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we'll be right back because we're going to take a short break. But when we come back, I'm going to introduce you to the CFO, Chief Fun Officer of our family, Miss Sawyer Robbins. Oh, and we're going to talk about how the hell we're going to make our holidays fun. And in the process, we're going to give you some amazing ideas for how you can do the same. Okay, so Soy, thank you for being here because you know what? You are the funniest person in our family. Not only because you have the best sense of humor and you have the wittiest and driest sense of humor, but you also bring the fun. And you make our family so much better because of it. And I just love that about you.
Thank you.
I mean, literally, dude, everything. I mean, the foam hats, your idea. Dinner without clothing, your idea. A bar crawl in colonial costumes, your idea. Throwing a fake wedding, your idea. How the heck did you become so fun?
That is a tough question. Honestly, I feel like first off, I'm just very outgoing and obnoxious. So I think that kind of plays a role into it. But I think that I have been fortunate enough to be a part of friend groups where all we want to do is have fun and do things that are out of the ordinary. And I don't know, you can always just go to a bar, but it's more fun to dress up as like old women to go there. To just go alone. That's what I was for Halloween. I was a granny.
Can you please describe your costume to everybody? Because I think it's one of the best costumes I've ever seen.
I wore a wig and I got glasses and pearls and I got a cane and I was wearing like a sweater. I don't know. And I looked on probably 15 YouTube tutorials of how to make your makeup look like old women. And so I had like wrinkles all over me and a big mole. So yeah.
Oh, and you know what other detail I loved?
What?
You had on like New Balance geriatric sneakers, and
Oh yeah, that.
you had a COVID mask hanging from one of those eyeglass things. I mean, the attention to detail. And that's why I wanted to talk to you, because this is the first year that our family is hosting Thanksgiving at Ground Zero for Thanksgiving, which is the Southern Vermont house.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there are traditions that used to go with the Southern Vermont house when your grandparents owned the house. And now that we are the owners of the house, and this is the first Thanksgiving that we're inviting the extended family to come, that we should probably get really intentional about mixing up the traditions and inserting a lot more fun.
Mm-hmm. That sounds great, honestly.
Why? Do you think that that holidays are normally not that fun?
No, I think they're fun. I love holidays. If I could, I would just have Christmas all year long. But the fact that Thanksgiving is always a good time in when politics are not talked about or money or people's like life. I don't know. I feel like all we talk about is the boring stuff and what everyone does for work. And then Uncle Tom does his accents and everyone laughs and we have the exact same memories told over and over again. And then we go to bed. So I don't know. I'm down for some more fun this year for sure.
I agree. So, can you give me some ideas? Because you're a way more creative thinker than I am. And I remember when we were quarantining, you came up with a chart of themed evenings that we were going to do as a family in order to mix up the doldrum and to create things to look forward to. So, do you have any ideas as our CFO, the Chief Fun Officer of our family, for how we could mix it up this year over the holidays?
Let me, I honestly like, I feel like I'll just spitball. I don't have any in particular, knowing our family, but I think that, I think there's ideas that can be super out there and wild. For example, like the anything but clothes dinner, which I really wish honestly didn't happen after dad walked down in a like pedal something over his junk and nothing else.
He
But
had clogs on.
oh, perfect. But I mean, that was like a little too out there. And we do that with like our friends. And I didn't anticipate you guys taking it that seriously. And God knows I don't want to see our grandmother JJ with a Vouv box over her uplifted tits. But I think that what we could do, which could be like wholesome, is I don't know. I feel like there's a ton of different things. The first thing that came to my mind is this isn't like out there or anything, but I remember we used to like paint pottery a lot when we were up in Vermont. So maybe we could get like a bunch of pottery to paint for everyone or something like wholesome like that. Or we could, I remember you and Amy went to like a flower build or like a flower building thing or reef
Yep.
class, something like that.
Yep.
I mean, the obvious dance party, we've done lip syncing battles. I feel like it would get a little, I feel like people would be offended if we did the theme everyone dresses the other person. So I think avoid doing that.
Oh, I like
But
that one.
you like that?
Yes, I do.
So what?
So
I
how do you
just
come up with your ideas?
honestly, like, but I don't even know. I feel like I get inspiration from like online. I'll see a photo of, for example, like a colonial costume and be like, oh my gosh, it would be so fun to incorporate that into a bar crawl. And then you plan the whole bar crawl and you just make sure. I don't know. I feel like I'm very forceful in these type of ideas. So people don't really have a choice whether they want to dress up or not. And I'm not saying that that's the way to go about it, but I think that every single idea or like fun theme or party idea that I have ever come up with, I just make sure that I go 100% all out so that if you don't do so and you show up to the party or you show up to the bar call, like you're the one who looks out of place. Um, which sounds horrible, but I just feel like if you're the one planning and you're not the one going 100%, or even like being super outgoing or rowdy about it and making sure everyone feels comfortable, like in and around the group, whoever's participating in it, then it would never work, because I feel like anything, as the creator, you need to believe in it just as much as anyone else, for anyone else to like actually do it.
I absolutely love that. Okay, so takeaway number one from our chief fun officer, Sawyer Robbins, is if you're going to plan something fun and unexpected over the holidays, which we are saying you absolutely should, you got to go all in. You got to be the most excited in order to enroll everybody else. Now, I want to
Mhm.
give everybody a couple ideas because you've been sensational at planning things for our families. So, over the quarantine, everybody, Sawyer made a month-long chart, and on it were themed nights. And so, one of them is the one she regrets, where she made us all show up to dinner wearing anything but clothes. Second one that she did is we did that cooking show where we had a bake off, right? Where you had to make a
Yeah,
dessert.
yeah, that's another actually good idea. I feel like for Thanksgiving is, instead of like everyone bringing the food to the table and then everyone just eats it, it's fun to like bring all the ingredients to individual's house, etc., and then bake off or cook off or whatever and have a little bit of a competition. And I am severely competitive, so I always love that type of stuff. But I think that gets everyone together and in high spirits, and obviously food brings people together, so that's another fun idea. But yes, we did a bake off. I did not win. I was crushed for days. My mom won, and Kendall. I think you guys made like mousse.
Yes.
Me and dad might have like literally bought cookie dough and like had at it. I have no idea.
But the other way that our chief fun officer Sawyer supersized this is we had to be in costume as chefs.
Right.
So another thing that we do as a family that you have planned is we do like these games like salad bowl, where you take a big salad bowl and everybody just takes pieces of paper and throws in names, and it could be names that are anything from Mickey Mouse to the president, to actors, to people in your family. And then you basically divide into two teams and you play the charades game of having to guess how many you can get in a minute. That's a really fun game, brings out the competitive spirit. We've also, with our family over the summer vacation, we have done these family Olympics where you Google yard games, whether it's the balloon toss or the egg races or various yard games. But key to this, Sawyer, again, bringing the fun, makes everybody divide into teams that have a color. And then you got to go all out on the color of your team and the costumes you're wearing for your team. Now, do you have any other ideas? Because I feel like these are kind of in categories, everybody, that there are activities that you can do together. There are games you can play and teams you can break into together. Like, what if this were the year, Sawyer, that we did a huge capture the flag game with the whole family?
Yeah, that would be really fun, actually. That's a great idea. See, look at you.
And
Um,
go ahead.
yeah, I don't know. I think, well, capture the flag is a great idea, like games, etc. I think that always brings people together. And I think that where what always makes something more fun is, as I'm sure you can see a consistent theme here, is costumes or dress up or something along the lines of not wearing just your regular everyday sweats or clothes or Thanksgiving meal dresses, etc. And so costumes always makes things more fun, as well as decorations. Like I think if you are able to really deck out your house or even like the Thanksgiving dinner table, it always just makes people feel so much more excited and lively. And if you want to get everyone involved, I've done parties where I ask individuals to bring different types of decorations, and then we all get together and decorate the place together, and then essentially destroy the place, and then I'm the one cleaning it up. But I think that decorations and costumes and obviously music is always a good idea.
Okay. So, how about we plan in real time what our family's going to do with the 14 people that are showing up over Thanksgiving here at our house?
Okay.
What are we doing?
Oh my God, I feel like so put on the spot. Well, I think capture the flag is always a good idea. Um, I think, I mean, we do have the new pool, which would be fun to do like relay races in or something along the lines of that. Um, I think we could, I mean, there's so many different like Olympic-esque games like cornhole or egg tosses or water balloon tosses, whatever. Um, I'm trying to think. I feel, I mean, I think that the best tradition that I like was very young for, but the lip sync battle was very, very fun. And that was one where everyone went super all out. And just basically lip synced and dressed up as each family was um a band, etc. And then they sang a song. That was really
What
fun.
about a karaoke machine? We could rent one.
Yeah,
That's a no. Okay. I feel
that's
like
that's
no enthusiasm there.
that's like, I mean, I think karaoke's fun when everyone's a bad singer, but I can see that turning into Kendall just taking over.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's true. So do we plan? I'm gleaning a couple things from you. Number one, we need costumes. Number two, we need a planned activity that everybody participates in. Number three, we need directions. And number four, we can't just let this be something that might happen. So we
Mm-hmm.
got to know that people are rolling in Thanksgiving Day. There's going to be the feast. Uncle Tom will do his accents. We'll all laugh. We'll talk about the same stuff. And then when we wake up on Friday morning, all bets are off and it's Family Olympics. Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. I think that we need to get more creative with the games, or else I think it's never, or it's the worst when we come up with something and we're always really excited about it, but we've done it before. So then when we actually try to do it, it's very half-assed instead of everyone being super involved in everything. So I would advise against Family Olympics just because we have already done that. But even like I know that a lot of our family likes to drink, as does many other people in this world. Like we could do like a cocktail making contest or something where everyone
Oh,
brings their own fixings and makes like a unique drink. And we could do like everyone could make their own drink. So like I could make one, you could make one, and then we could all like try to do that, or we could do it based on family.
That's a cool idea. And since there's a couple people that don't drink, we could force you to have to do an alcoholic and a non-alcoholic version, which is actually quite hard.
Yes, absolutely.
I like that as a Thanksgiving thing. That's an assignment per family. Okay, check. We got that one done. Should we have a
Mhm.
pool party?
See, I think it's hard with those. Like, yes, absolutely. But I don't think it's one of those things that you can plan. Like, that just needs to happen naturally. And I think that that's the thing with making fun is it's always fun when it's not super forced. And I think it's one of those things where if you're the only one that wants to have the pool party and then you're sending out all these emails, oh, bring your bathing suit, whatever, and then people aren't really into it, then it's not fun at all. So you need to kind of like make sure a lot of people are into that.
So now let me focus us on the actual Thanksgiving table. Okay. How do we make that more fun? What's your
Hmm.
opinion on adult versus kid tables?
I think that having, well, an adult table, I think it's always, I think every table it's fun to like make creative handmade name tags for everyone and potentially have like flowers, especially on the adult, like flowers or tree things, or just make it Thanksgiving-esque with that type of fall color scheme. I think having, I don't know. Like I feel like having little presents or little, oh, another thing that we used to do is we would have the poppers
Oh, yeah, I love
uh,
poppers.
that you pull, like everyone holds them crisscross and you pull those are always fun. Having like crowns or
Oh, I like
I
the
forget.
idea of what if we make our own crowns
Yeah,
to
that
wear?
would be fun.
Or you get assigned a crown to make for somebody else to wear at the table. I like that.
Oh, I like that too.
Let's do that.
Yeah, that's a great
You pull
idea.
a name out of the hat and you got to make somebody a crown to wear at Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, that's done. Um, what about a question? I was recently at a dinner party and Maxine, who was hosting the party with her husband Andrew, asked a table of 10 people, tell us about the very first apartment you lived in. And it was kind of surprising. Everybody had a really crazy story about the very first apartment they lived in. Is there a question that we could ask all 14 family members that would bring some fun and would shake things up?
Huh. I think that's a fun question, except we do have younger kids, so obviously some of us, or not me, but others haven't had their own apartment. Um, maybe I don't know. I always think it's hilarious to hear like people's first kiss, but I know that
Ooh, let's do
that
that.
can make people uncomfortable if they haven't had their first kiss.
Who hasn't had their
Um,
first kiss in our family?
I don't know. I don't want to call anyone out, but just like younger kids. I'm trying to think. Like if you, oh, here's a good one. If you could plan with, if money was not an option and you could plan a trip for our entire family, where would we go? What would we do? That type of thing. And then everyone can go around and say that.
That's fun. See, what's
Um,
happening when you plan this stuff is that you're creating an environment for fun. You're creating ways for people to connect in a different manner than how we normally show up. Because I don't know about you, but even with our family of five, when all five of us are home, it's super exciting and really amazing for the first day.
mhm.
And then literally by the next morning, everybody's back in their old roles. Do you feel that?
Yeah, totally. Totally. Um, Going off of the question thing, another thing you could do is we could create like a big bowl of interesting questions with on like pieces of paper and fold them and then hand everyone one at the table, or that people can like pick randomly. And so then everyone has a different random question that they can answer.
Great idea. Great idea.
But yeah, the first day is always, oh, it's so great to see you. What have you been up to? And then the second day turns into either boring or I hate you all.
Uh-oh.
No. No, I don't know. I just think it's always really hard to come back for the holidays with the family, and it's exciting at first, and then by the end of it you're like, okay, I'm ready to get back to my regular routine.
You're right. I wanted to talk to you today because our family gets into this rhythm when we come together where we deeply love each other. We're all excited for the first day. And then by the time the second day rolls around, everybody is in their own corners. Everybody's staring at their phones. Everybody's grouchy because they want to go see their friends instead of hanging out with us as a family. And nobody can agree on what we're going to do together. And I don't want the holidays to be like that this year. And you are Miss Fun, and you're super creative about this. And you also get really like intense about it. And so I want you to help me figure out how to have fun as a family this year. Because everything that I plan, like, oh, let's go look at the exhibit at the MFA. You guys are like, I don't want to go. Or, you know, I used to love going to the movies on the day after Thanksgiving. I don't want to do that. Like, how is it that you get everybody to do fun things that don't want to?
Well, first of all, never suggest the MFA or go to the movies. That's first off. Second, I think that what I agree with you in that's exactly what happens, at least with our family, and I'm sure with a lot of families out there. And I think that that's why having not like a strict schedule, but kind of like planned out things to or one thing to do every single day, whether that's, okay, tomorrow we're going to definitely go on this hike, and having everyone come in with that expectation that, okay, tomorrow we're going on a hike, like everyone's coming, or the next day we're going to go play paddle and we've already booked the court. Like, it's not, oh, you want to do this, you want to do this. It's already planned, it's in the books, there's no canceling. The following day, like, we make a bunch of Christmas wreaths out of all like our plants outside or trees, etc. But we've already cut all of the leaves or the plants so that it's all ready to go, instead of just waking up and having nothing to do. And then that results to, okay, we're going to watch 8 Harry Potters and drink an entire bottle of wine and be on our phones all day.
You just described the holidays at our house. Oh my God. I think what you said is key. That if we're going to have more fun, we have to plan to have more fun, and we have to have it turnkey so that there's no opting out and there's no prep, because it is the death of fun when you turn to a group of people and go, what do you guys feel like doing? Anybody want to go for a hike? And you start like teeing up options. Most people are going to go, nah, I'm going to sit here in front of the fire and look at my phone. And so I think that's right. One activity a day. Costumes are required for one of them. Bring something that's fun and creative to the dinner. And we talked about like having some sort of little make crowns for every member of the family sort of thing. And so to me, that means we need to have at least the crown shape cut out for everybody. So there's no shenanigans of like everything's ready is what I'm hearing. Correct?
Yeah, everything's ready. We have the paint, we have the markers, the glitter, jewels, whatever we want people to decorate those with. And I think it's one of those things where that's all on us. And you just like, that's why planning these things are fun. But if you're not into planning, then it can be frustrating and stressful. But if you like that, as I do, like I would love to like go to Target and get all the supplies and make the crowns and have it set up for everyone. And I think that when other people come and they don't have to lift a finger, but they can participate, I think that that's when they have the most fun. And while that requires planning on our end as the host. It's just like what essentially if we want to provide a fun environment, we need to commit to doing that. And I think with costumes, the key thing is if you want everyone to go all out, obviously in the invitation, make that known, but you need to give them like 2 weeks, 3 weeks to like order the costumes, whatever. So it's not the night before and they're looking for a Santa Claus costume where they essentially just wear red leggings and a red shirt.
Got it. Okay. So can I ask you to take on the crown project?
Yes.
Thank you. The final thing we didn't talk about is music. I think having playlists ready is critical.
Yes, absolutely.
One of the things that I love, one tradition, is Thanksgiving. Our family always brings the disco playlist, and it goes on the second we start clearing the table for Thanksgiving. And there is an all hands on deck family disco dance party cleanup situation that happens.
Yes, that is true. Very fun. Makes all the dishes way more fun.
You know, when we plan all this or when you get together for the holidays, everybody kind of drops back into the old roles in the family dynamic. How do we draw people out of those?
I think that, I mean, my immediate thought just went to the fact that obviously we have a bigger family and everyone loves each other dearly, but people are closer in age, so they can relate to different cousins more so, or individuals get along with each other more so. And I think it would be too forceful to do like or even like, I think just having people talk to different people, and whether that means every 15 minutes you get up and you move seats at the Thanksgiving dinner so you're sitting next to someone else and you're not talking about someone's college experience for 2 hours straight, and instead you get to talk with different people and hear different experiences. I feel like
that's kind of cool.
Is better.
How would you do that?
Like
would you like ring a bell and everyone pick up your plate and move?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that idea.
I don't know. I feel like when people are just hanging out around the living room, your initial instinct is to go sit next to your favorite cousin instead of hanging out with like Uncle Bill or something like that. So maybe just not forcing, but sort of forcing people to sit next to different people so they can have different conversations, feel more comfortable with different people, something along the lines of that.
I love that. Great suggestion.
Awesome. That's the first.
Yeah, no. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Like, this is all you, dude.
Thanks, Mom.
One more quick question.
It helps to have people like you who actually want to participate in these type of things. And I think when there's at least 2 people, that's literally all you need that genuinely want to do something and present it to the group and really push for it, then it is so much more likely to happen than just saying, oh, we're gonna have a pool party, everyone get your suits on, type of thing.
Yeah. One more question.
People being on their phones.
Yep. What do we do about the phone situation?
Honestly, I mean, you're not going to take people's phones away for the entire weekend, but even for like Thanksgiving Day, I feel like it's acceptable to bring a basket out and just say, hey, we really want to be present with all of you. We're not doing this to punish you, but would everyone feel comfortable if we put everyone's phone in this basket and just put them away for like the next 3 hours? And that's another thing where if everyone looks at you and is like, what the hell is this person saying or doing, then no one's going to do it. But I think it's just one of those things where you're the host. Like, I think you have that power to kind of say, I want to be with all of you. I'm hosting you all here. Would you please, in return, give me your phone and actually be present?
Who is going to resist that the most?
I feel like the adults, but I don't know. I don't want to call out anyone in particular in our family, but in general, I feel like adults who, oh, I want to take pictures, or oh, I have a work call, or I'm Mel Robbins.
Oh, so you think I'm going to have the hardest time with it?
I mean, it's your idea, so I'll hold it to you, but
Okay. The basket's coming.
awesome. It's like the sign we used to have in our old Vermont house, the kitchen is closed.
That's right.
And we would all creep into the pantry when you guys weren't looking.
Okay. Sawyer, I can't wait to see you over Thanksgiving weekend.
I can't wait to see you too, Mom.
I will call you. I'll be your co-pilot as our chief fun officer, okay?
Yeah, we need to get all 5 of us on board.
Okay. We'll have a Zoom meeting. We'll get the 5 nuclear family on board and we will drop a fun bomb on the rest of the family.
Perfect.
Awesome. All right. I love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So I got some planning to do. And I hope you got some great ideas. And if you've got other ideas that we should all be considering, let's crowdsource them. Please put them in the comments, DM me, hit me up at melrobbins.com in the forums. I would love to get together a list of fun things you can do with your family, and then we could share it with everybody. How cool would that be? All right, listen, before you hit into those holidays, let me tell you, I love you. I believe in you, and I believe in your ability to create a better life and have a hell of a lot more fun. So go enjoy those holidays with your families, and I'll talk to you in a few days. Hey, it's Mel. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed that video, by God, please subscribe because I don't want you to miss a thing. Thank you so much for being here. We've got so much amazing stuff coming. Thank you so much for sending this stuff to your friends and your family. I love you. We create these videos for you. So make sure you subscribe. Mwah.